Hello there. It's the day after Christmas. It's the end of the year almost. And for me it's going to be a time for cleaning up. I work on my walking sticks in my leisure, and I'm retired, so I have plenty of leisure. But as the year progresses, there are quite a few sticks that get started and don't get finished for any number of reasons. Sometimes I've lost interest. Sometimes I realized I had to get a special order out. Sometimes I had to wait to let the stick dry a little bit more. And so there's unfinished business. And I have projects lined up to start after the first of the year, so I have to make room for those as well. So here I am going to do a mad rush and try to get maybe 8 or 10 pieces done before the end of the year. So it's going to be a busy time. You haven't seen any of these from the beginning, so I'm going to show you some of what I've got, and you'll see what I'll be working on through the week, and I'll video bits and pieces of it as I go to show you progress. Okay, here are the sticks that I have in process but not completed. Looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 walking sticks, and 1, 2, 3, 4 canes. Down there, that's kind of a special project. I'll have to tell you more about that later. So for today, I've decided that okay, here are some of my unfinished projects. There are 10 or 11 walking sticks and 3 or 4 canes in there, and one little special project down here I'll have to tell you a little bit about someday. So today I've decided I'm going to work on 2 canes that I have gotten started. This one here, this was a prime example of looking at the tree before you cut to see what you can take out of it, and planning your cuts. And this cane worked out great. And I'm also going to work on this cane today. Both of these canes are to the point where they are pretty much shaped, and all they really need is to be sanded and then varnished. So I'm going to get those done this afternoon and get those out of the way. I don't want to start any new projects, but I have, until I have all these done, but I have projects in mind. And that's horrible focus. Set it over here. I call this my monster stick. It's long, it has a big diameter, and it's heavy. Now, who would want that for a walking stick? Well, I have a plan in mind that's going to transform this stick into a really, really nice stick. So stay tuned to see that in the coming weeks. And without further ado, I think I'll sit down in my chair and start carving, or sanding, or finishing, or whatever it is I do. Okay, it's time to get started. Won't be much chatter during this. It'll mostly be noisy, so you can watch me work. about 2 hours ago that I last filmed, and in that 2 hours I finished shaping and sanding 2 canes, rough sanding. They still need to be finish sanded. You can see how they look. This one here has got a little bit different shape to the handle. Slopes up a bit, but it's a very functional cane. It's a very strong cane. Got some real body to it and a nice design. I'm going to do the finish sanding on both of these canes, and then they'll be ready for varnish. Hopefully I'll get a couple more sticks prepared to the point of varnishing them, so I can do a kind of a mass varnish day here in the next couple of 3 days. So that's all for these right now until you see them when I get ready to varnish them. Okay, here's another stick I'm going to try to get finished. It's still the day after Christmas. I've finished sanding the 2 canes that you saw earlier, and now I'm going to work on this stick. And this is a very interesting stick. I'll point out some of the details on it now. I've already done some shaping work on this stick. I made a pistol grip type grip area on it. It seemed natural. There was a branch that came out here that had already been broken off, and it just seemed like a perfect place to grip this this stick. So I just enhanced it a little bit with some slight grooving for the each of the fingers. There was another branch that had already broken off here. This was a dead stick when it came out of the tree already. And another branch here. Now the interesting feature on this stick is the wound that appears in the stick. I don't know what might have caused that, but it seemed to have recovered from the wound because it continued to grow around it. But it may also have contributed to the death of this limb eventually anyway, because it was, like I said, it was a dead limb when it came off the tree. Now, I have decided that as I finish the stick, I will sand it, but I think I'm going to leave the wound unsanded. It's dark and it's kind of crusty, and I've used a toothbrush to brush out loose material, but I think I will leave it unsanded, but I probably will varnish over it to seal it off. So this stick has already been shaped as much as it's going to get shaped, and it will. I will start sanding on it now to get the finish sanding on it. Of the sticks I've done this year, I'm thinking that this one may turn out to be one of my favorites. It'll be hard to let go of this stick, not just because it has such a nice grip. I think it will be hard to let go of this one. But they all have to find a home. Well, we'll see where she goes. Good morning, everybody. It's New Year's Eve. Back around Christmas, I showed you a video of this wall, and it had a bunch of unfinished sticks that I had started and not finished for one reason or another. I decided that it was time to clean up that wall, get all those sticks finished, and so this was the result of my work. are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 canes or short sticks, and 6 long walking sticks. Now some of the sticks needed to finish being shaped. Some of them needed sanded, rough sanding, even finish sanding. Some of them still needed bark removed. I did each one a little bit different. No two sticks are alike. That's the beauty of mesquite, I guess. Where possible, I try to leave a little bark on each stick. And after they're varnished, the contrast in color between the bright yellow sapwood around the outside of the stick and the darker finish of the remaining bark gives them a very pleasing look, in my opinion. This is the stick that I said I was probably going to be the most proud of, or maybe not want to give away or sell. I did a joystick grip on it. And this stick is the one that had the wound in the wood. And I left the wounded part, I left the actual wounded area natural. I did not sand it, just sanded up to it. I think this will be a pretty nice looking stick when it's all finished. Yeah, none of these sticks have been varnished yet. And the reason for that is it's too cold in my garage right now to do the varnish. It just wouldn't get a good finish. Although I'm in southeast Arizona where it can get pretty warm and tends to stay mostly warm moderately warm through the winter. We are having a cold spell here in December and freezing temperatures overnight, so it just doesn't warm up enough to do the varnish right now. But hopefully within a week or so the warmer temperatures will return and I can get all of these sticks varnished and they'll be very attractive. Some of my video you might have seen these 3 sticks in the background. They also aren't finished, but they're close. They need more coats of varnish. The one on the far left has had 2 coats and is ready for the finish coat. And the one on the far right also has had 2 coats and is ready for the finish coats. And the one in the middle has had 1 coat, so it needs 2 more with sanding in between. This stick has 2 spiral grooves in it. And a shaped handle area. This stick also has 2 spiral grooves in it, not as far down the stick, and a shaped handle area. This one also has a shaped handle area or grip area. Okay, I have to be honest with you. I didn't finish all the sticks that were on that wall that I showed you earlier around Christmas. There were 3 sticks that I just didn't have time to get finished, and these are the ones. Now, I had mentioned this stick and said I would tell you a little bit about it later. So I'll give you a little close-up of what's happening here. And show you the stick. There's a gentleman who has a YouTube channel. It's called Doug Outside. He lives up in Canada, and he can carve wood like you wouldn't believe. And he's inspired me to do more than just shape sticks and to do some carvings. So this was my first attempt at a carving, and it's not finished, but I'll be doing more work on it when I get a chance. Doug generally works, I think, with basswood, and he said that it was a good idea to use a softer wood, and he is absolutely 100% right. This mesquite does not carve as easy as that basswood does, but if you get a chance, check out Doug's YouTube channel. It's Doug Outside, and you can see the amazing work he does with carving and also other woodworking projects. He is just an amazing talent at working with wood. This stick here is a bone out of a giant saguaro, and it's not finished because I just couldn't decide what to do with it. These are a lightweight stick, but extremely strong. But they're narrow, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted to put a mesquite handle or grip area on it, or use the upper area that already has a fairly good space for grip. So I'm undecided yet on that one. And the last one that didn't get finished is this bent stick right here. Although I did do one other stick that had the split surface at the top that turned out pretty good. But I'll get to this one eventually. You might wonder what I'm going to do next. Well, there's no end to the sticks. Here's about a dozen candidates for projects in the coming new year. There'll be some canes, some walking sticks, and I've got dozens and dozens more of these in the drawing process, so I'm going to have to get busy. Okay, this stick is the reason I wanted to get all those others done. I didn't want them in the way because I have great plans for this stick. It's a huge stick. It's heavy. It's got a lot of girth to it. It's long. And I have been studying this stick and studying this stick. And I think I have come up with a plan to turn this into a real beauty. So, now you can tell what I've done for the last week. I'm going to end this video and get it posted soon to the YouTube channel, and wish you all a happy new year and hope you have a prosperous and healthy and safe 2019. Thanks for watching.